Hello students, let's see the difference between physical change and chemical change. Physical change is a reversible and chemical change which is irreversible. Physical change is temporary and chemical change is permanent. In physical change in physical properties, and chemical change in chemical as well as physical properties. In physical change, no new substance will form, and in chemical change, new substance will form. This is the differentiate between physical change and chemical change. Can you tell me the examples of physical change and chemical change? Yes, breaking of glass is a physical change, but melting of candle is a chemical change. Let's start with the chemical reaction. Now we are going to do one activity. Here the first activity is if you add the zinc dust in copper sulfate. So what will happen? Zinc is a solid and copper sulfate which is in the aqueous form. So what is happening here? See this, zinc is here which is replaced the sulfate group and forms a zinc sulfate here. So what happened? Here zinc which is reacted with the sulfate to form a zinc sulfate, and copper will be displaced here. Okay, now let's do the second activity. Here the potassium chromate means K2Cr2O3, K2CrO4 solution which is reacted with barium sulfate means BaSO4 solution. So what will happen? See this one, again the potassium which is reacted with the sulfate group to form the potassium sulfate, and barium which is related with the chromate to form a barium chromate. Okay, so again here the potassium displaces the sulfate to form a potassium sulfate. Okay, now let's see the another one activity. Here the sodium carbonate means Na2CO3. This is the solution which is reacted with the calcium chloride. Calcium chloride means what? CaCl2. Now let's see. This is sodium carbonate which is reacted with the calcium chloride. Here the sodium which is displaced here the chlorine to form the sodium chloride, and calcium is reacted with the carbonate to form the calcium carbonate. Now the fourth and the last activity. You have seen this is the different name in our textbook. This is the phthalic anhydride which is heated in the evaporating dish. If you heat the phthalic acid, what will happen? It will decompose and hydrogen gas will be released. Now what you learn from these all activities? Yes, here you learn that a chemical reaction is a process in which some substances undergo bond breaking. Have you seen the first activity? Zinc which is reacted with the copper sulfate to form a zinc sulfate, and the copper will be displaced. It means a chemical reaction is a process in which some substances undergo bond breaking and transform into a substance by formation of new bond. That is called a chemical reaction. A chemical reaction is a process in which some substances undergo bond breaking and transform into a new substance by formation of new bond. In simple word, a chemical reaction is a process where the substance undergo bond breaking to form a new substance. That is called a chemical reaction. Now let's see with that one chemical equation. That is copper. We have seen already in activity that copper sulfate, which is reacted with the zinc powder. So what it forms? It forms the zinc sulfate and copper. Okay. So here we are going to see how to write the chemical equation. The first point, in chemical equation, the left hand side is called the reactant. Okay, so it means you have to write the reactant on left hand side. Then second, what is this? These are called the products. So it means the product you have to write it in right hand side. Okay, and the third point you have to remember that an arrow heading towards the product, you have to show the arrow which is heading towards the product. It means the first three rules, left hand side reactant, right hand side products, and one arrow middle to them which is heading towards the products. Let's see the chemical reactions next point. The point number 4. If the reactants are and products, these are the reactants and these are the products. If the reactant and the products are 2 or more than 2, then you have to write the plus sign in the middle of them. Here I have written the plus sign in reactant and plus sign in product because they are more than 2. Okay, now let's start with the 5th point. To make the chemical equation more informative, so what we have to do? We have to write the physical state of that compound. It means copper sulfate is in aqueous form, so I have written AQ, and zinc dust which is in solid form, so I have written the solid means S. So if you write it, it is more informative to write the chemical equation. 2 points, point number 4 and point number 5. If the reactant and the products are more than 2, then you have to write plus sign in the middle of them. Then 5th point, to more informative, we have to write the physical state of that substance, means liquid, aqueous, solid and gaseous form. Now let's write the point number 6 and point number 7. So if you want to give the heat to the chemical reaction, then you have to show the triangle here which indicates the heat. So when heat is given from the outside to bring about the reaction, it is indicated sign written the triangle on the arrow. Then point number 7. If you are given the temperature, pressure, catalyst and etc. things, then you have to write it upper to the arrow, either below to the arrow. It means if you want to write the temperature, so here you have to write it 55 degrees Celsius and the catalyst is manganese. You can write it like this, catalyst here and the temperature here. This is the point number 7. Okay student, from this you learn how to write the chemical reaction. So again I am going to revise the 7 points. Which is the first point? The first point, on left hand side product reactants, right hand side products, arrow heading towards the product. Then fourth point, if the product and the reactants are more than 2, then you have to write the plus sign in the middle of them. Then fifth point, to show the chemical reaction more informative, what you have to show? The physical state. It means aqueous, AQ, solid, S, L, liquid, G, gas. And the sixth point I told you that if you give the temperature, either heat to the reaction, then you have to show the triangle above the arrow. And seventh point, if you give the temperature, then if you have taken the catalyst and pressure, then you have to write that points above the arrow and below to the